I feel like we need this round table with some Fireball before every pod.
Oh, fuck. And welcome back, everybody, to another edition of a UFC Pay-Per-View Preview Podcast. I really wish I've been recording for the last 25 minutes. This has been too good here, but let's just get at it. You can find me on Twitter at BDentric, joined by two awesome guys. You know them very well by now. You can find one on Twitter at CWalkBets. Chris, how we doing?
Doing well. How are you?
Good. And straight up out of the South, he's a Kentucky football fan, basketball fan. He's a Kentucky fan. Find on Twitter at True UK Fan. Wesley Colvin, how we doing?
Doing great, man. Good to be back on with you. I'm looking forward to breaking down the card, man.
Oh yeah, it's a good looking card. And if you guys are curious, these Lovebirds and a few others are going to be in Austin, Texas next weekend to support Max Bet season. So get it in and look for the boys.
There will be roofies to be had.
If you thought,
in that case, I want the food.
Chris is going to find out what the true meaning of the love for Haganu is all about.
Man.
Before we
I'm still broken up over that.
Well, there's always next time.
Yeah.
Before we get into UFC 221 out of Perth, Australia, since we've last talked, we had two fight nights, Bella in Brazil with Machida and Anders, and then Charlotte, North Carolina, Jacare and Brunson. First off, Wes, I'm kicking it off with you. Mr. Picture, GIF, whatever you want to call yourself, meme captain of the world. When Brunson went on, I'm going to pee like a dog street. Congratulations.
Yeah, he got the Michael Jackson smooth criminal at first, and then he went with, yeah, dude. I even said it on the analysis, like Brunson absolutely giving me when the edibles hit again. Yeah, that was sweet, man. That guy's a gift to the meme game. He gives you a good one every time. And as far as that fight, man, it's crazy that people actually wrote off Jacare the way they did. Honestly, that he closed at plus money against Brunson, which is completely insane to me. Just insane.
Yep.
Jacare is still one of the best 3 or 4 middleweights on the planet, and Brunson is still Brunson, and we saw that. Brunson is still chin up, windmills, run right into your fist.
Oh, well, we continue to talk about it for a long time, how loaded that division is. At least we get to see Romero, Rockhold, and Perth, which we've been begging for one of two of the 4 guys to fight, and then we finally get to see 2 of them, which is great. But on this Jacare Brunson card, Chris, and then Wes, Gillespie just dominate. Bektik looks amazing. Some good takeaways from this card. Anything that really stood out to you guys? Chris?
Well, let him go first.
Yeah, I'll jump in. To start it off, I know he's still young in the game and stuff, and it was a really lower level opponent, but I was really impressed with the Corey Sandhagen kid. That dude showed a lot of skills, man. Really fun looking fighter, and kind of intrigued to see him in the future. Bektik looked like Bektik, man. He just ran into a crazy guy and Darren Elkins. His fight before that, and I think we see now. I think Elkins is on like a 7 or 8 fight streak, so that isn't as bad a loss now. Looking back, the streak Elkins has been on, and Gregor Gillespie is the fucking real. That dude that's the real deal. Holyfield right there. Watch out for that cat. At 155, he is. I'd say he's a couple fights, man. You got to start looking at him at top 5 guys. I think he's that good. His wrestling is superior to almost everybody in the game. Not that division, not here and there. Like in the entire sport, his wrestling is legit. So yeah, Gregor, completely impressed by him. That guy's the real deal.
He was so fast transitioning and just striking it. It was amazing. He kicked the crap out of Rinaldi. Chris, any thoughts on that fight card?
I thought it was, decent. I was impressed with Sandhagen as well. I had a little bit on Nico Price. I think we know. I think Nico Price is just in the category of you know what you're going to get. He's going to beat the guys that he probably should beat, and he's probably not going to beat anybody better than him. Like you guys said, Gillespie is a real. I think moving him along kind of slow. Personally, I think he can take on a lot more than they've given him. As we all know, no one knows what the UFC is thinking on any of these. They'll feed somebody to the fucking wolves, and then they'll hold on forever with a guy like this, and I just don't get it. A guy like this and a guy who's Doc's favorite guy, the Russian, Zabit. Like those guys are ready for a little bit higher level competition, and the UFC just whatever the hell did they decide to do? I don't know. Do they just sit around and flip coins and throw darts during the day? I got nothing.
Yeah, but the maybe the worst thing they did was selling and Joe Silva leaving. That just crushed that company. Just as far as matchmaking, and
it is going down so fast, and I don't even think they realize how fast it's going down.
I'll say it again. In a year or two, Lorenzo swoops back in and gets it back for 25 cents on a dollar.
Yeah, probably.
Watch.
Probably going to happen. Look at the way things are going now. The ratings are going down.
They're already hemorrhaging so much money. They're literally talking about champ versus champ fights and all this shit just so they can recoup money for loan payments. Like they literally owe quarterly loan payments on this $4 billion. So they have to sell. They have to sell pay-per-views. And it's running it. It is literally running.
That's crazy. UFC Bellum this past weekend in Brazil. We saw a lot of finishes. Alcantara looked really, really good. Santos committed murder in the octagon. He had big Dick Tim Johnson coming through with the W, just working as a pretty nice dog too. But kudos to Machida for picking up the W. But I just want to go straight to the bullet herself, Shevchenko. My God, how fast and how I know she wasn't facing top tier talent, but how that fight went that long. Yamasaki should be fired forever. But my God, how good did she look, boys?
Wow. She looked much faster.
Way faster.
I don't know how, but she did. She looked faster. She looked better. She looked more fluid, and she was already pretty good. And, I actually think – I can't say the last name. Kashera?
Close enough.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try to tell you how it is.
That's as close as I'm going to get.
She was a pretty girl.
She's hot.
I don't know how much she is anymore. That face got rearranged.
Hopefully they had insurance on her looks because that probably is gone now. But the other thing about her, I actually think she's pretty good if she's fighting 95% of the other female fighters in this division. She's not bad. She just got matched up against a train wreck, and we all saw what happened. Yamazaki, that was awful. That was real bad. I don't know what he was waiting for. To make her tap twice.
Yep. Yeah,
he could have stopped it 5 minutes before that. He could have stopped it in the first round. But then when she is getting choked out and she does tap, what are you waiting for, man? She's not recovering. She's not winning this fight. There's no reason to let this continue.
It was
to say that she's intelligently defending. Okay, she was trying not to get completely pummeled. That's where you're supposed to protect her, and he failed. He really did.
Yeah, on his I talked about it on the other show earlier. That's some of the worst I've ever seen. Seriously, that's some of the worst reffing that I've ever seen. And his comments this week on that reffing job should disqualify him for ever being allowed to ref another fight again, period. Him saying I was allowing her to be a warrior, that is the total exact opposite of what you're paid to do. You're not paid to let fighters sit in there and feel like they're warriors. It's to save them from themselves. You know what I'm saying? That is your job. I think there's yeah, absolutely. I think there's a little blame to go around. Her corner should have stopped that fight. Period. Her corner should have stopped it. You're not allowed to throw the towel in MMA. You're not allowed to do that. Only the doctor or the ref can throw the fight. If that was my fighter in there, I'd have climbed in a cage. That fight would have been stopped. Then on the matchmaking, I know Chris, she is like, she's not horrible, but she had no business being in there with Shevchenko.
Not at all.
No, that's why I give most of the blame to Yamasaki, because I will say, like, even though I think the matchmaking was poor, they were setting Shevchenko up to go down there and smash this girl and go on to the title shot. They count on the ref to stop a murder from happening in the ring. You know what I'm saying? So 99% Yamasaki, he should never be allowed to ref again. He really shouldn't. I know Dana mentioned after that he's going to do everything he can to never allow Yamasaki to ref, which that's not up to Dana White. That's up to sports commissions. I'm sure Dana can go and be like, hey, look, don't let him ref my cards anymore. I won't come back or something. Dana can be sued for that by Yamasaki. You know what I'm saying? That's infringing on his right to work. So, but we know Dana's going to try to do everything he can to not let Yamasaki ref UFC. And I'm fine with that. Fucking let him go ref lower level cards if that's what he wants to do. He doesn't belong reffing at this level anymore. It was just flat out ridiculous. That's literally one of the maybe 4 or 5 biggest beatdowns in MMA that I've ever witnessed in my life. Like, it was 200 and something strikes to one. Oh, girl blew out her ACL in like the first round, was done. And then the tap, man. Yeah, she was multiple tapping. The dude literally would not stop the fight. That shit was shameful. That was some real shameful shit.
I felt bad for, like, I think we all did. We were all tweeting it out like, this is not even fun to watch anymore. It was just getting out of hand. So bad. There's not many times now. Like, I've watched thousands of fights. There's not many times that I get a little uncomfortable watching a fight. Watching somebody. Yeah, it was literally getting to the point to where, like, this is cruel. You need to. This shouldn't be happening.
I mean, if you're talking about a situation where, hey, some I can't even remember the big heavyweight fight. It was the two heavyweights, and the one guy knocked the other one down, and he's stunned, and he gets back up and he knocks the other guys, and he's stunned, and they're really just trading. It was, I think it was last year. I can't remember which one it was, but they're both stunned and they're both still firing these huge shots. And so there's a reason to let this fight continue if they can defend themselves.
Yeah. Throwing punches back is a quote unquote defense. You know what I'm saying? You're intelligently doing something. It
just didn't matter in this case. There was never any indication that Priscilla could come back and take over this fight. There was nothing. She hadn't. Okay, she landed the 2 significant strikes.
Yeah.
She hadn't done anything to let her stay in this fight. Like, you need to protect her.
Yeah. Oh, it was bad.
Crazy. Like, I get that sometimes you want to give someone a chance to stay in a fight, but there was no reason.
Well, yeah,
there's
also a fine line between, like, giving a fighter a chance to get back in a fight and literally protecting a fighter from themselves. That line was far crossed in that fight. And
if for any odd reason you say that, take away the first round, say Kahara, whatever the hell you say this, say she won the first round, and so say that at the same point in the second round, say the second round played exactly the same, and she's just trying to hold on. Okay, I can give you the understanding of saying, hey, I think she could have, as a referee saying, hey, I think she might have won the first. Right now, it could be, 1-1. So I want her, if she can stay in it, I want to give her the chance. But there was obviously nothing like that in this case.
Yeah,
it just makes no sense ever.
Mounted and blows raining down for 3 minutes plus of a round is literally like stop the fight. No, I will say, like, on Shevchenko, you're right, man. Her shedding that 10 pounds, her actually getting to cut weight for a weight class, moved her up 2 notches in her game. Like, she was shredded. She looked fast. I said before the fight, that fight should be for that belt. They should go take that belt from Nico Montano and just present it to Shevchenko after that fight.
Well, Nico might just hand it to her because she doesn't want that shit.
That fight is going to look a whole lot similar to what happened to old girl. Like, Nico Montana is going to be on her back getting blows rained down upon her. It's going to be bad.
She might be the really biggest underdog for a champion ever.
It's gonna be it's gonna be Rousey level numbers on Shevchenko against when Rousey was popping up minus 800 and shit against girls. That's what's gonna happen here. I would say she's gonna be cyborg numbers is what she's gonna be. She's gonna be minus 1200, minus 1300 against people.
Anything less you can actually bet.
Dude, I had Shevchenko points and so much shit at like. I think it was like minus 375 at one point. I had that in like every parlay that I made over the week. I added that. Every single one, I added it just to get better numbers on it. Like her Shevchenko's points in that fight was like fucking minus 400. That's value.
That's ridiculous.
That is value.
That is value. She outstruck her 230-3.
Yeah. And seriously, it's one of the biggest beatdowns I've seen in MMA.
Yeah. Doc, Bubba, how much did she score in DraftKings? That's what I need to
know. It ended up being like almost 140. It was like 138 or something
in a round and a half. That's how much work she did. Yeah,
insane.
And still got the second round finish bonus.
Yeah, exactly.
What
All right.
Do we have on this card?
Let's move on to UFC 221. We could talk about Santos's murder if you like.
I'll say just a couple things on there. The Mr. Magma Pepe has been replaced by a couple Brazilians on this card because the Magma was flowing hot with Figueiredo and Andrade. Those dudes
Andrade was bad.
Yeah, they could have pissed a hole in the ring if they fucking took a piss out there. And then I gotta touch on the main dude. That was a fucking horrible scorecard. A horrible scorecard, especially considering that the new rules were in place. And by the new rules, damage means more than anything. Machida got smashed in rounds 2, 3, and 4. I could hear Machida won the first. I could hear an argument for the fifth going to Machida. There is no goddamn way in hell you can give 2, 3, and 4 to Machida. And the 49-46 Machida card from Tony Weeks, who's been doling out scorecards like that for over 20 years in combat sports. We're in the wrong business. Seriously. Those people, they make Tony Weeks makes 4 figures a card to judge fights like that. I'm in the wrong goddamn business.
That's embarrassing. That's what you guys should do for Austin is bring scorecards you guys can hold up like ring girls in between rounds.
Done.
That's what you need. Like those little flip ones you see at softball games. You need one of those.
If Chris
wears our shirts, we're gonna be beautiful.
If Chris wears the UFC ring girl outfit, then I'll do it.
Oh, that's outstanding.
I'll hold up the card. I won't
afterwards.
You know, Dougie would wear it with his Khabib hat.
He's a wild man.
I gotta compound on this one.
Yes.
It's not a horrible decision, but Tony Weeks screwed me on the Tim Means decision.
Yeah, that was on the card. That was another bad one. I even bet Moraes, and after that fight, I was like, I scored that fight for Means. I mean,
that was
you had to be 29-28 Means.
Yeah, absolutely.
I really thought Moraes won the first, and I was on Means, obviously. I mean, I was telling you guys I really thought Moraes did good work in the first. He slowed down a little in the second. Means adjusted a little in the second, and then Means completely adjusted in the third. I mean, I thought the first was close just because Means was able to land, but I gave it to Moraes for the better shots. And if you thought the first was close, I don't think how you could see the second one close. And Tim obviously wins the third.
Yeah, agreed.
But God, I think he had some home cooking for the Brazilians that night because his was the real weird one on the decider on the Machida fight.
Well, the crazy thing about the Means fight though is the Brazilian judge scored it for Means, and the other 2 judges didn't, which is crazy. But we talked about it on the other show. Like when we say home cooking, now it's not necessarily a Brazilian judge scoring it for Brazilians. It's more the atmosphere in the crowd, who is
somebody's paying Tony Weeks. I don't know who it is.
That guy's atrocious. And the only other thing I'll touch on about this was pure MMA card with all the bullshit judging and the misweight. Like Panzeris, that dude should be suspended Like
that was
seriously.
ridiculous.
He should be suspended. Like they should give him like a 6 or 8 month suspension and just not even give him a fight, because that's atrocious shit. And then like Dana White like not paying John Dotson his money is fucking ridiculous. And what makes it even more so ridiculous is they pick and choose when they do it. Like Vitor got like his show money, and then a couple fights ago, somebody got their show money and their win money. John Dotson gets nothing. He shows up, makes weight, makes contractual weight, and his opponent he doesn't get paid. That's a joke. And then they got Dana White on fucking Pawn Stars buying $80,000 worth of samurai swords last night, and he can't pay John Dotson $30,000. Give me a fucking break, man. Don't ever tell me this is a sport. This shit is entertainment. This is not a fucking sport.
That was bullshit when Dotson got screwed. You know, he flies all the way to Brazil. It wasn't like it was in Las Vegas or something for him. It goes all the way to Brazil with his fight camp, and you're going to tell me you're not going to pay the goddamn guy?
Yeah.
And then
and it's like the dude's oversized to begin with. He's going to fight a guy that's fucking top fucking 6 or 7 in the world, 5 pounds overweight.
Yeah,
get
bullshit.
the fuck out of here,
like,
man.
I don't know why Green even took the fight with Prazeres. I guess he wanted his money, unlike Dotson, because Prazeres was 40 pounds more than him probably by fight time.
Yeah, when that's got 40% of his purse too.
Yeah, but see, like Green had made a deal too, to where Prazeres wasn't supposed to come in at like 167 or something like that on fight day. He wasn't even supposed to be, and then showed up at fucking almost 180. Just said fucking like, yeah, I get Green. Like Green pretty much said it on Instagram. He's like, I'm a warrior. I show up to fight and all this. Dude, this is like the big leagues, man. This is your career. One loss in this shit can get you cut. It can get you cut. You know what I'm saying? You don't fight a guy that's literally outweighing you by 30 pounds. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. That was a dumb decision.
Well, like one last thing I want to mention, it kind of relates to Dotson not getting paid. Timmy Johnson had to get a goddamn GoFundMe to get his corner to Brazil. That's how bad these guys are getting taken care of.
Yep.
It's horrible. Well, absolutely horrible.
Wait, and then when you go to places like that and you got to fly guys out and stuff like they should at least have 2 or 3 cornermen paid, and I think the UFC only does like 1. You know what I'm saying? They pay for like 1. You know what flights and shit are to Australia? You know what it is going out there and trying to live for a week, and then like when they fight and say like Mexico City, you should actually be down there like 3 weeks early just to get acclimated. You can't afford to do that on 12 and 12 and shit. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
Sport. This ain't no fucking sport.
It's making me want to go watch some more Bellator now. At least they get paid.
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right. UFC 221, Perth, Australia. It'll be we got 12 fights on this one for now. We still haven't had the weigh-ins. We got 12 fights. Starting off with 3 on the Fight Pass early prelim, 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific. Kicking it off in the welterweight division. You got Luke the Jedi Jumau versus Dachi Abe. Abe's about a -150 favorite over Jumau. Chris, kick us off on this fight.
Abe.
Good.
It's better. Before I go to
I just saw he's from Japan. That's interesting. Then they wouldn't have put that name together.
Abe. Dude, I swear, gotta check us out. Me and my boy. So we played Black Ops and shit, and in Guy the Win, the Japanese name Win, like you said, we was on there like all you do is win. It's like, what are you getting at, man? That dude's name is Ngayan. Not I was like, dude, that's some of the funniest shit ever. And I was like, all I do is Ngayan. Ngayan.
Oh, sorry, Abe.
Yeah, but for this card too, there is some kind of like fucked up weight time doing weigh-ins and shit, like a messed up time and a shorter time frame. So don't wait for some of your bets if you're like on the fence for a bet, because
you got to think about it. 6:30 Eastern time start time here. God, what time is that in Australia?
It's they're 14 hours. Is it 19 there? Yeah, like
it's
I think
somewhere depending on where in Australia. I used to work with a certain area in there. I think it's 19.
Yeah,
so it can be up to a 3 hour difference, but somewhere in 16 and 19.
I think it's Brisbane or something. The the other side is 14, and then it goes across. So
yeah, because this is
it could be
Western
like
Australia.
14. Yeah. Yeah, I'm with Chris on this fight. You don't need to really dig too much in this. I think Abe wins this, but you can't really lay 150 there. So
I got it. I have it showing 140 right now. It's close.
That's playable. Yeah, that's playable.
Close.
I don't think
the
Jimu's
aggression's
very
gonna be
good.
The difference here, it's probably going to decision. I don't know what the over is. 220.
Yeah. I don't think Jimu's very good, but I'm gonna be a little careful with guys from down there in the Ocean Pacific on this card, man, because just especially guys coming from over here and then Great Britain and shit. That's a long ass flight. It's going on the opposite side of the world and shit. So just something to think about.
All right, Chiruto Yashabo Ishihara. I think I got that one right. Against Jose Teco Quinones. Quinones is a pretty damn good fighter from number 7-2. Ishihara 11-4-2. Quinones about a -160 or so favorite in this one. Wes, what do you like him?
Yeah, man. Quinones is another one of them guys that came off at that tough Latin America that was actually pretty shitty when it happened. Like it was a lot of shitty guys on there, but a few of them got up in the States and got some good wrestling work and stuff like that, and they have really improved. And I think Quinones has been one of those guys, man. And then you look at another on the opposite side, that Ishihara has moved over to the States, working at a really, really good camp in Alpha Male, and he's just pretty much the same guy, man. He can't stop a takedown for shit. Quinones can take a guy down and beat the shit out of him. I think that's what's going to happen here. I like Quinones.
Yeah, I like Quinones quite a bit. What do you like, Chris?
The only chance Ishihara has is if, for some stupid fucking reason, Quinones has a fucking ego and he wants to stand and trade with him.
Yep.
I mean, he can punch. Ishihara has power. But he has shown that he could probably get taken down by a kid that plays Pee Wee football. He's got nothing.
Yep.
Not only that, once he's down,
he's done.
Literally nothing to fucking offer.
Which is crazy after being at Alpha Male for like 2 years now. Which is crazy.
He has nothing. He has no idea how to get up. Like if you
Alpha Male is the wrestling camp of the world.
for guys in that weight class. Yeah.
If you get him down with 15 seconds into the round, he's going to be there for the rest of the round. He's got nothing.
I think that's what we see here.
Quinones came down. He was over 200, which was a little questionable, but now he's approaching bettable. Assuming, if you know the mindset of a fighter and he knows, hey, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to try to take him down, I'm going to lay on top of him, he's going to win this fight easy. So if you can tell me that he's going to do that, I'll bet on him all day. 160 is nothing if I know that that's the approach he's going to take. So, that's the thing.
He's fought some really smart fights lately. I think we see that. I think that's exactly what we see.
He's using one that is bettable.
Yeah, if it goes down a little bit more, I'll be on that myself.
He's using that philosophy like we kind of talked about with when Green needs to realize what a loss does to your record. Quinones understands if I got to lay on him for 3 rounds and get the W, I'll move up the ranks. We'll make it happen. So he's got that down.
Fight IQ is very underrated when you're betting MMA. Look for that.
Definitely.
Shit. Can be
big
a lot.
time. Yeah, don't take our IQ. Fight IQ. That's what you need.
Absolutely.
The last fight in the Fight Pass prelims. This one is very intriguing on a few different levels. You got just the guy that just won't go away, and Ross the Real Deal Pearson. He's about a minus 150, 155 favorite. He actually went up since I wrote these down earlier against Mizuto Pugnis Hirota. This is a very interesting fight in the lightweight division. Chris, where are you going with this one? Because I keep thinking Pearson's going to finally go away, and now he's a minus 155 favorite. I think it's dog or pass. That's just me.
If this were a pick'em fight, I would say Pearson. Every time you kind of overlook Pearson and he looks like he's about to fade away into the shadows is where he comes up with one of those big knockouts. And the fact that he's a favorite here really scares me. I mean, if he's a dog, it's like, hey, let me take a shot here because when you count him out, he has a chance. And clearly he probably shouldn't be the favorite, but I think he does just enough to edge another decision, another one that's going the distance. Can't really touch the over too much. but it's going to get there. I just think he's going to do a little bit more. That's the one thing is you do have a savvy veteran that he's going to do a little bit more. Not betting it, but that's my pick is Pearson.
What about you, Wes?
Man, I love Ross in this fight. I grabbed minus 140. I didn't like laying that much juice, but I figured a little money would come in on him, so I did grab it. Man, Ross still only 33. I know he's got some cage miles on him, but I mean, if you really dig into his last 4 fights, he's been in all of those fights against really, really good guys. He was in with Hooker, got caught, got knocked out. I mean, he boxed with Stevie Ray for 3 rounds. He looked decent. He was in there with Jorge for 3 rounds. He looked decent. He's fighting a guy that's fucking 30, 36, 38 years old, 36 years old. And the biggest thing to me here is that Hirata's moving up in weight after just getting like manhandled for 3 rounds by Volkanovski. Moving up to 155, Ross is going to be the much bigger guy here, much bigger. Ross is a big 55er. He's going to have a massive size advantage. Hirata has pillow fists. Ross doesn't have to worry about getting knocked out here. I think Ross rolls here. I think he pieces Hirata up. If he stays at a little distance, doesn't get bodied up against cage, which Ross has great takedown defense. Well, I wouldn't say great, but he's got enough to keep this fight on the feet. I think he boxes Hirata up here. I grabbed the minus 140. I really like Ross in this fight.
Nice. Like Chris said, I always seem to get him wrong, so I'll sit back and watch. But he is definitely the better fighter out of the two. So it's a tough one. I wish it was a little lower price. That's for sure.
36-year-old moving up in weight.
Yeah,
I'll take a look at it.
I'm with you. Let's go to the FS1 prelims, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. It's one of the few fights where we actually get 2 people that are actually ranked, even if you care about the rankings at all. But in the flyweight division, you got, I'm going to fuck this up, Juicier Formiga versus Ben 10 Nguyen. Pretty good fight, number 4 versus number 8 in the division. Formiga is about a minus 120 favorite. This just has scrap written all over it. I'm looking forward to it. Wes, kick us off here.
Yeah. This is the second best fight on the entire card. It's kind of a joke that it's buried all the way down like this, but it's a really close fight. Me personally, I like Ben Nguyen. I think he's a good and proven fighter. I'm not as sold on him as most. I know some love him. I think he's very good. I just think he's in a tiny bit deep here. Juicier's a proven guy who's only lost to the elite of the division, and guys that are pretty much power wrestlers, dudes that could take him down and not worry about getting choked out by him. Ben Nguyen gets to the mat with Juicier Formiga, he's probably going to get his back taken. He's probably going to get choked out. And I think the stand-up is very, very close. Now, the only thing that Ben Nguyen is young enough to where he's going to be improving fight to fight. So he's going to be a little bit better, a little bit different than he was last fight. But, man, I just can't get that slip up out to Smoka out of my mind. And man, Juicier has got pass here, dude. If this hits the mat, I think Nguyen's in trouble. Juicier's the last guy you want on your back. You're getting choked out. I grabbed a little of the minus 115 on Juicier. I think it's a close fight, though. Ben Nguyen could take this, but I thought Juicier should be more of around minus 160. So I took a little the minus 115. I think Juicier gets it done here.
What about you, Chris?
I'm on the same side. This is and I'm betting on this one too. The thing about this one is it comes down to the same thing for me as the last fight. 2 fights ago. If you can tell me where this fight's going to take place and some of it's going to contain the ground, I want to bet a lot more money.
Yeah.
Ben's fast as shit, and he has good power. So if this turns into a striking battle, I mean, hold on to your nuts because you're in for it, But the grappling exchanges, the ground exchanges, I think Formiga can take the back like nobody's business. So if he chooses this close range on top of your fight, we're in good shape. And, I'm hoping for a submission. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say Formiga by submission.
I like it. I like it a
think
lot.
I think that's the path, Chris. We're seeing this one a lot.
It's like you set out the gate though. It's a shame that this is the lead off of the prelims card. Like it's freaking ridiculous.
It's going to be a fun scrap too. It ain't just like a fight between two good ranked guys. It's going to be a fun scrap between two ranked guys.
This has fight of the night potential. It's going to be really good. Let's move on to the next fight in the featherweight division. -220 favorite Alexander the Great Volkanovski versus Jeremy JBC Kennedy. Kennedy's an 11-0 undefeated fighter taking on the favorite Volkanovski. Chris, what are you seeing on this one?
Yeah, I mean this is what is one of the probably the best line that you've actually seen on Volkanovski lately. It's a little bit close. I actually really like Kennedy. I'm certainly going to have no money on this fight because I can kind of see it going either way. I don't know. Kennedy's a little bit taller. It's kind of just this fight just screams scary to me. So I'm going to stay away. I'm going to pick Volkanovski, but if I had to bet and there won't be anything, I would take Kennedy just for the plus money on it. But Volkanovski's very talented. I think this is a good test for him, though.
What about you, Wes?
Yeah, we're me and Chris seeing that a lot the same here too. I do think though that Volkanovski is just like the more. They're going to be the same weight, and Kennedy's going to have a height advantage on him. But I feel like Volkanovski's the bigger, stronger guy. If you know what I'm saying. Right. I think he's going to be able to big brother up Kennedy in this fight. I think he wrestling to a decision here. But I also agree with Chris. I could absolutely see Kennedy winning this fight. I mean, he's 11-0. He's young. He's going to be improving. It is down in Volkanovski's area. It's a guy on this card. Kennedy's got to travel halfway across the world. But I'm going to have to pick Volkanovski. I think he's just going to be the bigger, stronger guy here. The one thing I do like, if you need a parlay piece, this fight's going to a decision. I don't think Kennedy's ever been in a fight that's finished. Maybe one. Let me check that to make sure again. Yeah, earlier back in his career, but his latest run, he's a decision machine. Volkanovski's a take you down and grind on you wrestler. He's a decision machine. This fight will go to the distance.
And by decisions, -195, so not a bad parlay piece. If that's the case, should be a good fight though. I think Kennedy for us in Toutmaster could be a fun little Toutmaster play for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right, let's move on to the middleweight division. You got Rob Razor Wilkinson taking on Israel, the last style bender, Adesanya. Adesanya is 11-0 out of Nigeria. Wilkinson 11-1 out of Australia. Adesanya is a -360 favorite. He's won all 11 fights by KO or TKO, and he's traveling to Australia. Wes, what are we looking at here?
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people know about the style bender. This dude is one of the best kickboxers in the entire world. Do yourself a favor and go look up his highlights, and your jaw will drop. The dude is insane. He's gonna knock this guy out. He's kind of like Saki and those kickboxers now that are kind of trying to transition over and they've been still kickboxing, but training a little MMA at the same time. He's going to have enough to keep this fight on the feet, dude, and he's going to get a spectacular knockout. This guy's, if you want to say a striking specialist, he's one of the best. Like I said, go out and check out his kickboxing highlights, and you will fucking be like, my God. They brought him a guy that I think he can keep on the feet and going to get a spectacular knockout here. So, I like the last style bender here, and I put him in a little parlay on the open. It was, I want to say it was around -285 or something like that. It's a lot of juice, but they're setting him up here for a highlight knockout.
Yeah, you got about between on your book 315 to 365. Inside the distance for Adesanya is -174.
That's nice. Yeah, that's something to look at.
You know it's bad when the over/under is 1.5 and the over is -125. So they're predicting that second round finish. Just when is it going to happen? Chris, what do you like in here?
He took everything I was going to say. Damn it, Wes.
You've seen the same. You've seen the same stuff I have.
take the line away from this. You know, I know you can say, hey, he's a 3-1 favorite. Of course, it's a mismatch. But if you just ignore the line for a second and look at these two guys, this is a huge mismatch. Wilkinson on short notice in Australia. They just picked an Australian guy to come up and get killed. That's all this is. We need a short notice fighter. We have one. Wilkinson's only hope is his ground game. I don't think it's going to get there, and I don't think it's a good hope anyways. Like I said, Wes said everything else. The last outbender's gonna style here, and I personally I think this is probably more in the -500 range in terms of if you knew both of these guys.
Yep,
it should be a little bit higher. So it's definitely there's value if you can say there's value in a 3-1 favorite, but there's value there. I probably wouldn't. Hell, I've done stupider things. I could say I could understand betting it here. Definitely a parlay piece if you're a disciplined bettor, but this is going to end up one way.
All right, let's go to the last prelim card on the FS1 prelims. In the lightweight division, you have Damian Beatdown Brown of Australia, 17-11 record against Dong Hyun, the Maestro Kim, 15-8-3 out of South Korea. Currently, Kim is around a -135 favorite against the hometown boy. Chris, what are you liking in this fight?
The Maestro, Dong Hyun Kim. I think he's going to be the bigger, stronger guy, and I think this is going to come into a lot of grappling exchanges. I thought Kim showed a fair amount back against Polo Reyes in that fight, and showed that he's tough and he hang on for a long time against a really, really good fighter. What we've seen in Polo do lately, I like Brown. His last scrap with Camacho was pretty good. I think Kim's going to win this one. What
about you, Wes?
Yeah, we're kind of thinking the same, but we'll be going a little kind of a different route. So somebody's going to get knocked out here, and it's more than likely going to be Damian Brown. If they post it or if your book offers it, I would put a sprinkle on fight of the night on this fight. I think this fight is going to be absolutely insane. There will be scrambles, like Chris said. There will be grappling. They will be throwing bombs. These two dudes are nuts. This is probably going to end up being fight of the night. I think it's going to end a knockout, probably by Kim. The bet I actually like on this fight, and I like it quite a bit, is this fight doesn't go to decision. I got it at +125. It's still plus money at +105. I just can't see any way that this fight makes it to the final bill.
What's your thoughts on
under 2.5?
2.5.
135.
Exactly, as I say, under 2.5 +135.
Well, I got it at +125, so it was close, and I like that extra 2.5 minutes personally. If I can still get plus money,
that's what she said.
Yeah, you always got to like the extra 2.5. The extra 2.5 is what puts you in the spot. Right?
Yeah, hi-yo. All right, let's head to the pay-per-view card. 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. Kicking it off in the light heavyweight division, number 13 light heavyweight Tyson Pedro out of Australia, 6-1, going up against Mother Russia, Saperbek Safarov, 8-1. He throws blows. Pedro likes to scrap on the ground. Kind of two different styles fighting for the most part. And you have Pedro's about a -285 favorite last time I checked. Yeah, he's sitting. He went down a little bit, about -275 now. So, Chris, kick us off in this one.
Bubba, let me ask you a question. What is Safarov's record in the UFC?
Well, let me click on that because all I see is 8-1 on the UFC page. I haven't gotten it.
0-1.
I'll let you catch up.
Okay. There we go. I'm moving. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. 0-1 against Viante. Our boy Viante got knocked the fuck out.
Jan.
Okay.
That was back in 2016. Over a year ago.
He lost to Deontay.
Yeah, that's what I said. When I saw the name, I started laughing.
Yeah, no.
Tyson Pedro's going
to Tyson Pedro.
Oh, man.
That's all the analysis you need for this fight. Mm-hmm. He just lost his last fight to John Vellante.
Over a year ago. What happened here? Wes, do you have any insight on this fight?
Look, man, there's not many Dagestanis out there that you would call a shitty Dagestani. This dude is a shitty Dagestani.
Just look at him.
Yeah, he's bad, man.
Floppy tits.
I don't like think a ton of Tyson Pedro. There's some people that's hyping him up. I don't think a ton of him. But he's gonna beat this dude. 3-1's tough to lay on Tyson. Yeah, he better. 3-1's still tough to lay on Tyson Pedro, but
that's the problem.
I put it in a tiny parlay. I think he wins this fight. I think I got -265 or something like that. He'll win this fight.
The over 1.5 rounds is plus money, so I think they're saying something's going down.
Yeah, I don't.
So what is Pedro in round 1?
They don't have that up here right now.
They don't have. Well, y'all know that Nick quit making lines for 5 dimes, right?
Oh.
So there's. Yeah, Nick doesn't make lines for 5 dimes anymore. His contract is up with them, and he didn't re-sign. So there's new people making lines, making MMA lines now. I guess it's a good and a bad thing. Nick knows his shit, so maybe we can beat some of these lines. But they didn't have fucking totals even out till Wednesday. Like over-unders weren't even out till Wednesday. So hopefully it's just the transition over, you know what I'm saying, and they get their shit together. But, man, if we're not going to get totals till Wednesday and we're not going to have full fight props till Friday, Saturday, that's going to be really, really bad. Really bad.
Really bad.
All I've got is Pedro inside the distance at -145.
Yeah.
Oh, him inside the distance -145?
That's not bad. That's not bad.
Nah, he's going to finish this fight, dude.
Oh,
that's not bad at all.
There we go. Parlay that with Adesanya and boom, shakalaka. Yep. Let's take a look at Jake, the Celtic kid, Matthews out of Australia, 12-3. Good young fighter, but has definitely some holes. Against Lee, the Leech Jingling, 14-4 with some dynamite in his hands. This is an interesting fight in the welterweight division. Jingling's about a -170 favorite. Wes, start us off on this one.
Man, I'm a huge fan of Jangling, dude. This guy's a fun-ass fighter, man. He's put together a really good streak in the UFC, too, with some decent wins. But, man, I'm going to be going down with this Jake Matthews ship. I can already tell. I've bet on this kid, and he finally won me one last time. I've lost a couple on him. Man, I say it after every fight. We talked about it on the analysis, man. You can't be at this level, be that young, and want to be improving, and still be in Australia being trained by your dad. It's not gonna work. He's still in Australia. He's still being trained by his dad. If he wasn't, I'd be really confident in him. But he's this is going to be a second fight up at 170. He couldn't make 55 anymore. The cuts were killing him, so he's definitely up at 170 permanently now. Only 23, so he should be starting to fill out and shit. I'm hoping that he's bulking up. He's had, this is his second fight, like I said, so hopefully he's putting weight on it and he can put on this 170 good. He's got to not get into a brawl here. If he gets into a brawl with Zhang Lang, all bets are off. I'm not really overly confident here, but I had to take a shot at the plus 175. Like I said, I'm going down with this ship. I've been on him every fight. I'm going to be on him again here. I think either he holds on for a decision or he's going to end up getting knocked out by Zhang Lang. I'm hoping he's smart. I hope he fights smarts, comes in with a good game plan, and he can stay out of that power range and outbox him here. We'll see. I took a chance on it, plus 175.
Yeah, it's definitely a wrestler versus striker fight here. So it'll be really interesting to see how it plays out. Like you guys said about a few fights, if they stay on the feet, it goes one way. If it goes on the ground, it goes another. It'll be really interesting how it pans out. Chris, what do you like on this one?
Yeah, I mean, you just said it. Tell me where this fight's going to take place. I'll tell you my bet. I'm a big fan of Jingalang.
It's pure entertainment.
Say it again. Oh yeah, no, he does. And then Matthews, he's a talented kid, smart. Maybe a little on the boring side, which is what he needs. I don't know. The line's coming down a lot since Wes had it. I think it's what +1, 130 now.
Yeah, it's getting down.
Wes had it. You know, he hit it perfectly. He's got to get to a real camp, and he's got to get away from his dad. I'm gonna pick Jingling here. No bet. It's gonna be a good fight to watch. It's one of those. It'd be an interesting style matchup. See which way they go with it, but nothing I find one side or the other.
If Jangalang pulls off another win here, they're gonna have to start giving him some decent opponents because he's put together a really nice streak in the UFC.
All right, let's move on to the first of the two heavyweight fights on the main card here. We got Thai Bam Bam Tuivasa, 8-0 out of Australia. Looks like one of those big Mark Hunt type Samoan dudes.
Yep.
Against Cyril, the silverback Asker out of France, 9-3. Bam Bam is 8-0 with all wins by KO and TKO. He just looks like a big guy that can take it. This is Mark Hunt Jr. Just everything I've seen about the guy. Chris, kick us off on Bam Bam at a -285 favorite.
A little high on the price, I think. Big fan of Tuivasa here. I like what he does. He seems to get a ton of energy. You know, one thing with those Samoan guys is they're really, really big, you know, family oriented, and it's so much into their culture with all of that. So they really just, you know, thrive on all that pressure and support, and they just kind of tend to like really perform in those kind of situations, I think. And he came up big last time. I think he's going to come up big with another big knockout here.
What about you, Wes?
Yeah, that flying knee that he pulled off last time, heavyweights just don't do that shit. That was impressive stuff. Like, one thing I do like about the guys, like even like Mark Hunt, he's not short like Hunt, but his body type, like he has the strength, he has the endurance, but he doesn't have all those fucking bulging muscles that drain and sap his energy after 60 seconds. That's not always a bad thing to have a body type like that. But yeah, I like Bam Bam here. He's gonna take out a fat Sean Carey in this fight, no doubt about that.
Yeah, over 1.5 +170. Fight doesn't go decisions -675. So they're thinking this is a nice quick one. Fatty for +170.
Fatty, it could happen. I'm still thinking about it. At +170, it's still on my mind.
We're talking 7.5 minutes. 7.5 minutes, all we need. So
that's a long time in a heavyweight fight.
Oh yeah, no, again with hands like that,
yep.
Especially with a young guy that can hit.
Yeah.
But you know the French, they like to run, so you never know. Let's go to the co-main event of the evening. Talking about Mark Hunt Jr., we get big old Mark Super Samoan Hunt #5 heavyweight, which is kind of sad when you really think about that.
Yeah.
13-11-1 in the record, going up against Curtis Razor Blaydes. Blaydes 8-1. We are big Blaydes fans, at least we've been on previous podcasts. Blaydes about a -160 favorite right now. Chris, kick us off on the co-main event.
This will be my biggest bet of the night. You know, I told you actually a little bit earlier about what we were talking. I've kind of redone my UFC betting. I kind of got to a point where I was betting just for the sake of fun and rooting on guys and shit like that. And it started to slide a little bit, and I was like, you know, hey, you used to do this to make money, so I kind of want to get back to doing that. So I'm a little bit pickier with the betting, you know, just kind of find the better spots and go with it. This one, to me, sticks out as there's a very, 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 very real path to victory here. You know, we all know, I think we're all really, really, really high on Curtis Blaydes. I think he's Wes's second favorite heavyweight. But
he likes him.
But The one thing that scares me about Curtis Blaydes is he's very confident. He's willing to strike with you. Hell, he was willing to strike with Ngannou, and
he
took a little bit of damage, but he didn't get knocked out. I don't think Blaydes wants to fight in the range where Hunt's going to get his knockout. That really quick uppercut that that Hunt can throw. I actually think that's probably the most dangerous punch Hunt has. I think this is going to be a at Blaydes' pace, at his distance. If he goes for the takedowns, they're there, obviously. I mean, not to compare Blaydes to Lesnar, but it could be the same way. Get him down, lay on him. He can't hit you. He can't hurt you.
Exactly.
And that's the real path for Blaydes here. He's obviously the superior wrestler. He's obviously gonna be winning if he's on top. As long as his ego doesn't get into him and he wants to say, hey, I can stand up with anybody. I stood up to Ngannou and didn't get knocked out. Well, heavyweights, one punch can end it. So as long as he doesn't get in his own head, he has a big path here. I think the takedowns will help him. I think he stays outside of the range for Hunt. And I think pretty easy win for Blaydes here. So I like Blaydes. Like I said, biggest bet of the night. Line's getting up there. So if you want it, you can take it now.
Nice. What about US?
I love Blaydes in this fight. It's my favorite play on the entire card. I got lucky and got the opener. I maxed bet season that. I got that at minus 120. I think that's a hell of a line. It's creeping up now, like Chris said. I would hammer Blaydes in this fight. I do not get the line still. Hunt literally is coming off medical problems and shit, was having heart problems and stuff like that. Like Chris said, Blaydes stood in there with Ngannou. I can't see Mark Hunt landing something that Ngannou didn't land and put him out with. He's really kind of, his striking's remedial anymore. There's really nothing to it. He throws a few different punches. If you know what those punches are, you can pretty much stay out of range of them. And then Blaydes will take this fight down when and whenever he wants, period. Like Chris said, he's exactly right. That this has the Lesnar fight written all over it. If Blaydes wants to go that route, he can take Hunt down and Hunt will lay there. I mean, period. I love Blaydes in this fight. I hammered the minus 120. Another play I also like, it's kind of climbed a little too. I love the over in this fight, the over 1.5. I got it at minus 140. It's starting to climb a little, but that is an excellent bet. Blaydes won't knock out Mark Hunt. That dude is almost impossible to knock out. Mark Hunt takes some of the most damage you will ever see a grown man take, period. I can see how I think the fight goes is Blaydes eventually starts getting those takedowns. Blaydes is a little safer. Like Chris said, he takes a little ego out of it. And I think he takes Hunt down. He easily gets through the first. And I think this actually probably makes it to decision. I can see Blaydes just getting takedowns. A lot of ground and pound, a lot of controlling Hunt. Hunt does know how to defend himself on his back and on the ground, so he doesn't get smashed up too much. We saw Brock lay on him. I mean, Brock is 100 pounds on Blaydes, maybe. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I love Blaydes, and I also really like the over in this fight. I don't think you can go wrong with either one. But I absolutely recommend a smash on Blaydes here. I don't get the line. I think he's far above Hunt at this point. I'm talking a 43-year-old that's been in 100 fights, probably kickboxing and MMA. And like I said, just coming off some medical problems, was literally having heart problems, couldn't even get cleared for his last fight. You know what I'm saying? So Blaydes all day for me.
Blaydes by decisions plus 188.
I could absolutely see it. I actually think it goes to decisions more time than not.
Yeah,
in Australia, definitely.
That's why I really like the over. The over is, I almost like when the over opened at like minus 105 or something. That's what I was talking about earlier about these new line makers. If they can get the lines out, I think we're going to be able to beat them because they're opening a Blaydes Hunt over 1.5 at minus 105. That's insanity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that is insanity. But yeah, I like. Yeah, the over is almost as good as Blaydes in this spot, I think. But Blaydes, I love him in this fight.
All right, let's go to the main event of the evening. Robert Whitaker is out. So you have an interim middleweight title fight on the line. Yoel, Soldier of God Romero, 12-2, taking on Luke Rockhold, 16-3. Luke looked a lot better his last time out, but he didn't quite face Yoel Romero either. So this could get quite interesting. Rockhold is about a minus 150 to 160 favorite. Somehow, if you have bet DSI, he's plus 150, but he's minus everywhere else. So knock
That
yourselves
line
out
hasn't
there.
moved. It hasn't moved since it came out. Like
No,
Bet
I've
DSI
looked
line
at this every day. I'm like, what the
Yep.
fuck is this?
There's apparently shady shit going on around them parts. So
yeah, big
just
time.
watch it. Yeah.
So Wes, kick us off in the welterweight title fight. Or
Man,
middleweight.
What a fight. Just holy shit, what a fight. You got two of the best to do it. Yolo might be the best character in all of MMA. I love that dude. One of my favorite fighters. Man, I think this is a close fight because I think there's a path for both guys. I think now at this point we know Rockhold has got a shaky chin. I mean, I think it's proven at this point. I really do. I know he took Bisping lightly and got caught, but man, he got caught. He's been rocked in a lot of fights. I don't think he looked especially great against Branch. I think he should have got Branch out of there a lot sooner than what he did. But that was his first fight back. Probably took it a little safe. But man, if Rocco gets you down and gets on top of you, he has the best mount game, ground to ground and pound in the sport. Like that dude is vicious when he gets mount. It's over. I mean, it's absolutely over. The things he did to Chris Weidman will give you nightmares. But man, just that chin. Then you got to think about Yoel, man. He started slowing down a lot against Whitaker. I mean, Yoel was that close to winning a title. You know what I'm saying? I mean, exactly. he had Bobby Knuckles in all kinds of trouble, man, but he started slowing down. And even a dude on a bad leg could get him in that fourth and fifth because he started slowing down. If this fight gets past the third into the fourth and stuff, I think it's going to be all Rockhold. I think he'll end up it'll be something that's slowed down to a crawl, and Rockhold ends up getting the decision. Man, I know people that got Rockhold on the open at plus 145. I couldn't argue that. I'm going to be on YOLO here. I think YOLO is gonna get him with something early, gonna hurt him, and get it closer to the ground and get some grounding him out with something. Mainly, I'm just arguing that point in my mind now because YOLO is plus 140 now. The line's just swaying my opinion on here. When a close fight like this, that's got to come into it's got to come into your thinking when the fight is as close like this and you can see pass for both guys. I think it is more likely that Rocco eventually finds his way to getting Yoel down, but man, that chin and shit, it's hard to trust Rockhold at this point to me. But I get people arguing YOLO's. Hell, man, he's 40. He's Cuban birth certificate, so he's probably closer to 45. But he doesn't have the cage time a lot of these guys have. He got started way late. I mean, he doesn't have the fights and all the miles that these guys have. You got Rocco. He did get knocked out not long ago. So, man, it's a close fight. It's a great fight. Enjoy it. I'm hoping that I got the plus 140 on YOLO. I'm hoping that YOLO can get that first, and I see something plus 150 or something on Rockhold after the first, and I can just hedge out and sit back and enjoy the rest of the fight.
That'd be perfect. Chris, what are your thoughts on this one?
I mean, it's going to be a great fight. I won't have any money on it because of my new restrictions. There's
good one to pass.
It's a great one to pass.
Yeah.
There's pass for both guys. I mean, if you tell me the fight ends super early, we're gonna think it leans towards YOLO, and if it's a little bit later, round 3, 4, 5, we know Rockhold can last. He has great volume output. That's where the pick is. I'm gonna go with Rockhold, and the longer the better for him. I think he's gonna take over. I think he's gonna get on top, and I think it's gonna be all she wrote. But if he does get hit early, it's 50-50.
No, I completely agree with what you guys said about Rockhold's ground and pound game. It's like the fiercest in the sport. Are we taking away the Olympic wrestling of Romero on the ground at all here?
I don't think it'll be a big enough issue.
Well, I don't know. He doesn't like translate it to MMA as much. Yolo kind of is more. He wants to stay on the feet. Most of these guys, yeah, they get to this level and they're all their wrestling is so good and everything's so good. It usually ends up turning into a kickboxing match. That's what happened with Robert Whitaker. That probably is what ends up happening here, and that's why I lean towards Yolo, because I think if this is a kickboxing match for a couple rounds, do you trust that chin to not get caught? But we'll see. If Rocco, like Chris said, if Rocco does, he is high volume. He sticks a lot of jabs out there, which is good in MMA. If he keeps Yolo off of him for a couple rounds, I mean, it's gonna be, the tides are gonna turn quick, like really quick. That I wouldn't have thought that about Romero before the Robert Whitaker fight, but man, he stopped hard in the 4th and 5th in that fight, man. Really, really hard. I was counting my money. Like, I bet Yolo, and I bet Yolo in every fight. I was counting my money, man, 3 rounds into that fight. I mean, he was looking really good. But we'll see, man. I think it's close. It's really close, man. There's absolute path for both of these guys in this fight. They're both that good.
Yeah, I can definitely see it happening. That's why I think this is a fun one to just sit and watch. But to each their own, because you could definitely see this going a bunch of directions, like you guys said. So should be a good fight. Definitely a good fight on this card. Let's go around the horn. Start with you, Chris. Your best bet of the night.
Curtis Blaydes.
Wesley.
Curtis Blaydes. Bet it. If you don't bet anything else on this card, bet Blaydes. I also like that over quite a bit too. I really think that goes over 1.5 rounds.
Yeah, it's a solid look there. Wes, you said your fight of the night pick was?
I think it's going to be Damian Brown and Little Dong there. Man, if they put out a line for like I said, I don't know if they're going to do it anymore because Nick usually made those. But if they put out lines for fight of the night, I'd sprinkle on that a little bit. You're probably going to get 3-4 to 1, 5 to 1 on something like that. I'd put a little sprinkle on that.
What about you, Chris?
Formiga and Ben Wynn.
Yeah, that was my choice.
Yeah, that's the one right behind it, definitely. That one's going to be good.
Yeah, and that's the shame of this whole thing. The 2 fight of the night candidates are on the goddamn prelims.
Buried. Then you got a kickboxing superstar that's probably going to get a highlight reel knockout. You got him buried down there. I don't know what they're doing anymore, man.
It's crazy. Like I it's hard to justify paying for this one. I'll be totally honest with all the listeners. It's compared to the other fights, but that's what we do because we like the UFC. Upcoming cards. You guys will be in Austin, Texas next weekend for Cerrone and Medeiros on a Sunday. Sunday. Damn.
We're doing a pod for that, right? Live?
I'll set it up if you guys want to tune in because I got to do one. So
yeah.
I mean, I don't know that you'll appreciate Wes and I drunk on Fireballs. We can probably make it happen.
I have no problem with
I'll bring my laptop everywhere I go, so we can.
We'll talk about this throughout the week if you want.
It's happening.
I'm down.
Here's one for you. It'll be my first live UFC event.
Wow!
Oh yeah, lucky you're gonna love it, man.
The card doesn't matter, dude.
No, it does not,
dude. It doesn't matter.
I'm gonna have dumbass Wes with me, degenerate betting everything. It'll be fun.
Yep. Oh, hey, dude, there's gonna be a group of degenerate gamblers down there. It's gonna be awesome, dude. Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Outstanding.
Great. I'll have to attend a meeting on Tuesday. Good news.
Following Saturday, you got Fight Night Emmett Stevens in Orlando, and then we go to UFC 222, where Cyborg gets another W in the first weekend of March. But yeah, Austin, Texas next weekend, boys. We will definitely chat that one up for damn sure. Check out Chris on Twitter at CWalkBets. Check out Wesley on Twitter at TrueUKFan, and check out the MMA analysis as always. Guys are doing great work over there. So get that in. And gentlemen, Thanks as always.
It was awesome.
Appreciate it, guys.
Yeah.
All right. UFC 221 preview in the books. Catch you guys next time.